Keeping a sketchbook by your side is always a good habit, and you can see I have painted various subjects on it. But my favorite till date remains the florals. Hi guys, I am Kritika Ranath, an artist instructor, mother, Skillshare teacher, and brand owner of Vibrant Parcels, where we manufacture handmade sketchbook like this, brush roll, paints, etc. Let's go ahead and start out with a quick tutorial of how you can paint beautiful, expressive watercolor roses. The first underlying color that I usually use for one of the petals is my pink Naples Yellow. Now, with Naples Yellow, I always love to use a combination of colors like your quinacridone coral, or you can mix a bit of your pink into it to get a orangish or a peachish kind of a shade. Once you get that, you can apply it on the paper, but you will observe that I am using a very thick brush to apply all my colors, as the colors are really diluted at this moment. Hence, it is easier for us to control it as it is the first layer. Now, having said that, I will actually paint this whole of the painting in first and maybe in two layers itself, the middle part of the rose, whereas the background are more detailed and we will be doing it much more in layers than what you see the rose part. Sometimes you make the backgrounds a bit more complicated compared to the main subject. That is known as negative painting. Negative painting can actually help you to improve upon your watercolor skills to a great extent. It is basically painting in and around the subject rather than going into the subject. I will give you more insights into it as we progress. Till then, let's add some more pink on the sides of the rose petal. Individually, I am not going to explain every petal, but major parts of this painting has been covered in detail, which can help you to ace through any of your florals painting in future. In case you are someone who is in love with watercolor florals, I have listed down my other classes which I have taken on Skillshare, as well as my own platform www.vibrantparcels.com under the layer of courses. Go ahead and just add some more of your pinks in few of the areas wherever you need. Contrast in every painting is the key. What do we mean by contrast? Some of the areas are usually in light and some of the areas are usually in dark. The areas which are usually in dark will be covered with the darker values, whereas the areas which are in light will be covered more in real diluted values of our pigments to show the surface which is more of white. And hence, that's how we continue to work. Right now, you can see that I am going ahead and painting some of the areas which are in dark, which means that this would allow me to actually add the contrast in the painting. I'm going ahead with the purple. You can mix some amount of your ultramarine into the pink that you have and create the color that you see over here. Or else you can also go ahead and just have a purple pigment and directly apply it on the paper. I'm using a very small brush at this moment because my colors are really thick, and at this point I do not want to actually create any mistake. I will blend my colors with the background and the particular area that I have marked in darker value. I would go ahead and keep blending the areas. Take the color a bit towards the top area as you can observe, and then blend it with a thicker brush. Once that part is done, allow it to dry and make some smaller lines as you observe me doing it right now on the paper. In case you are going wrong at any point in time, keep a blending brush handy. As you can see, I would blend the lines which I did not like with the help of my blending brush. This is a pretty thick brush from the brand Da Vinci, and I am using it for many years now. Most of the written area is also out, but it is working absolutely fine. Let's go ahead and add some more lines on the petal area. And once these lines are done, we will go ahead and start adding now the backgrounds. You can actually paint all the petals in the similar way. Before we go to the background, you must see that the darkest value of any color that you are going to add or the more pigmented colors will be added on to the bud area. The bud area is having overlapping petals, and that's one of the reasons I have gone ahead with my darkest value of Compose Opera, as well as a bit amount of my purple into it that you will observe as we continue to paint. Of course, the floral looks very nice even with only two layers that we have applied. One is for the lines that you have added on, and the layer one was basic painting that we have done for each of the petals. I have chosen individually each of these petals and not painted on the adjacent petal with it. That did allow me with a lot of time for going ahead and painting each of the petals in a good way, and it helped me to get the expression of the watercolor floral painting in a better manner. I am applying some amount of green. Of course, the green is yellow green that you observe, and then I'm going ahead and blending it with my sap green. If you want to apply any darker value at this moment, I would say it would be majorly your forest green, or else you can go ahead and apply some blue into it, either Talo blue or Indonthrian blue. I majorly prefer Indonthrian blue over Talo blue and just blend it with the background. This painting in particular has more time dedicated to the background compared to what we have dedicated to our floral. Backgrounds are more specific and they are layered, as I did tell you earlier. We will be even practicing negative painting for the background. But before that, we continue to first work on the basic layer 1 of the background and then go ahead with layer 2. Please follow the brush strokes and continue to paint the background. Once you are done, let it dry and then start out with the other part. I use a big flat brush that is 1 inch for applying the water so that my colors flow automatically rather than me doing a lot of work at this stage. Always try to work smartly with watercolors as you have really less amount of time and hence you don't want any patches, as well as this is more of a softer and nicer look rather than having a more wet on dry kind of a method. This is more to do with wet on wet. Wet on wet is when your colors are also wet and your paper is also wet. You get these soft and beautiful kind of effects where pigments do bloom and flow into the water, which I always prefer compared to any of my other aspects of painting. Continue to go ahead with the darker values in and around the floral. That would help the floral to come out, or it would be easier for us to see through the floral in a better manner. Let me help you to get through the background part now. I am going ahead and painting a few leaves. Now, some of the areas of the leaves, which you can see on the right bottom corner, the bottom part is more darker, whereas the leaves are lighter. That's where we have applied our negative painting skill. Whereas what you see right now is more of painting into my subject, and that is making your leaves more darker compared to what is there in the background. I will continue to paint my leaves further on the left side. Each of the leaves are individually painted, and hence it took me a lot of time. So you might have to also dedicate a lot of time for completing this whole of the painting. Having said that, it is easy to just continue to paint any florals if you are enjoying to paint more intricate details for a longer period of time compared to the quick ones that we usually can do in a landscape kind of a painting. Going ahead and adding some more lines into the wet on wet method, I'm using my size 1 Esquadra brush. This is from the Perla series. For adding the darker and the lighter values, I always keep a blending brush handy, as you can observe, so that the colors do not get into one space, they move along. Adding some more lines in few of the leaves wherever it is necessary. I have to continue painting the top part of the leaves too, and will add some more colors into it. Though the process that I'm doing is quite iterative, and hence you can just follow the brush strokes and paint along. For your reference, I am painting individually each of these leaves, and it is going to take a lot of time, as I did tell you earlier. So keep doing it and just enjoy the flow of watercolors. Having said that, if you are someone who is in love with watercolors, you should always try out various different subjects, even out of your own genre. Initially, I started out with landscapes, and as I progressed with watercolor, I wanted to explore animals, along with it, florals, and everything. So it's always good to add one more feather to your hat. Hence, always trying my best to bring the more and more of detail as well as beautiful content to each one of you. Go ahead and blend the colors as you observe me doing it over here, and then do have a look at your final painting. Once this part is dry, we are not going to add any further leaves on the top except the bud that I'm going to complete. If you have liked anything about this video, do give it a thumbs up. Write in the comments what you have liked and what you would like to explore further through any of my future videos. I would like to bring it to each one of you. In case you are there on Instagram, do post your projects. I would love to share it back on my stories. As well, if you are liking my channel, please do subscribe. I am waiting for each one of your beautiful project paintings or any of the paintings that you do from my videos. Once the painting is complete, let it dry completely and do remove the tape at an angle because that would help you not to tear off the paper. I would love to have a final look at this painting, and more floral paintings are coming soon on my channel. Till then, bye bye and see you very soon in the next video.